Hi everyone, Anton here from the Transcrobes project. For more information about the project, please check the site in the description below. This video is part of a set of short introductions into using Transcrobes for learning Chinese. There are many short videos in this playlist, so you can quickly watch just what you need. Word lists and content are both critical aspects of effective language learning and are at the heart of Transcrobes. Word lists are typically very important for your classes and exams, and content is important for actually learning the language. One of the unique features of Transcrobes is that you can import many kinds of text, and once it's imported, you can create a list from the words that are found. When you import video, subtitles, or an ebook, you can also directly watch or read in the application and get all of the great language learning tools for your favorite content. So how do we import stuff into Transcrobes? The creation page shows you what formats you can import, and there is more information on the dedicated help page if you click at the button on the top of the screen. Basically, if you want to import a list of words, you need to import in CSV format. More on that in a bit. Now, Transcrobes doesn't yet support directly importing formats like PDF or Word. So if you want to import text from one of those, you'll need to copy the text you want into a plain text.txt file and then import that. Now, it's important to note that this is only useful for creating a word list from a piece of content. Say you have a PDF file that you need to read for class or for your job, then you can copy-paste all the text into a .txt file and import that here. Once imported, you'll be able to create a list and then study the vocab in that list and see lots of graphs on how you're progressing learning the words. If you just want to read something once and you don't need to keep a copy you come back to regularly, Transcrobes has another very useful feature that allows you to copy and paste big blocks of text directly into the application, and it will get instantly turned into enriched text, just like you see on many screens in the application. That's Transcrobes, and you'll find a link to a video on that in the description. Next on the list, we have subtitles. In the future, we'll try and integrate Transcrobes directly into one or more streaming platforms, but that's a mountain of work, so for the moment, you'll need to find your own video and subtitle files. The subtitles can be in either .srt or VTT formats. After importing, you'll not only see the import in the list of imports, an entry will also get added to the list of contents, and you'll be able to directly watch the video inside the application from there. Check out the video on video in the description below. Finally, we have ebooks and the EPUB format. At the moment, you can import non-DRM EPUBs, but there are lots of places to get books like this. You can get free books on sites like Gutenberg or Chinese-specific sites like Haodu or Jinkan.net. And you can also buy recent books on sites like Kobo that let you download many of their titles without DRM. Now, it is possible to remove DRM in certain circumstances, but unfortunately, that is illegal in some places, so I can't talk about that here, even though it is not illegal in many other places. There are lots of sources for information on that on the internet though, so just search on Google, and with a little effort, you should be able to get most books in EPUB format without DRM. Please do make sure to support your favorite authors though, so they can continue creating great content. So what I want to do now is quickly take you through a couple of imports. One of a list of words and one of an ebook. Let's start with a word list. Structure is one of the greatest challenges when doing something long-term like learning a language, and linking your learning to a formal course is a great way for many learners to do this. There are some great free courses on the internet for getting started with Chinese, and the resources section on the documentation site has information on a few of them. If we go to the documentation site, then in the top menu we select software and then resources, you have a page with some information and links to great courses. So here we have the example of the Mandarin X course available on the edX site. Typically, with any formal course like this, you'll have a list of vocabulary items to learn each week or each module. Transcrobes has a built-in vocabulary revision tool, Repeatrobes, and that's a fantastic way to help you learn vocabulary for each lesson. So, at the top of the page, you have some information about the course, and further down you have downloadable lists for all the lessons and supplementary material in all three of the course levels. Let's download the first lesson and have a quick look. Here we see the important thing about importing lists into Transcrobes. The words you want to import need to all be in the very first column, and if there is more than one column, the separator should be plain commas, not tabs or anything else. There aren't many options for importing. This step is mainly about getting the files into the system, and then you can do other stuff with them later in the dedicated lists and content screens. So just click Save here. That will then send the file off to the server for processing, and in a few moments, it might take a minute or two if the file is very big or the system is busy, but in most cases it should take less than a minute for the import to finish and not more than 10. If you see that the import hasn't finished after about 10 minutes, then there's likely a problem, so just try once again or get in touch with me if it fails again. You can also import lists of words you already know, and that means you can immediately train the system and have the content and vocabulary tools work perfectly for you individually out of the box. For the import part of this, you don't change anything. You just import the word list and then you tell the system to do something with that import later in the list screen, which I talk about in another video. So if we now import an EPUB file, we can see how that works. Here I've already downloaded a file, so we'll just import that. So again, you can just drag or drop or select the file from your computer, click Save and then wait a bit. The interface will update when the file has been successfully imported. When you see the import is finished here, you can go through the content page and you'll see that the ebook has been added to the list. Check out the dedicated videos on video and ebook content for more info on what happens next with those. What you also see here on the list interface and then further on the import information page are statistics on how well you know the vocabulary in the import. It gives you detailed information on what percentage of the words and characters you already know and gives you information about average sentence length. We'll be adding more details later, but this information can already give you a good idea of how difficult a word list or piece of content will be for you. This changes over time. Transcrobes can tell you how difficult something will be for you personally right at this precise moment in time, not how difficult some teacher thinks it will be for some average student of your age or experience. So that's all for the import part of things. We'll be adding more import formats later, but you should be able to get most things done with what is already available. Don't hesitate to send me any requests you might have and I'll implement them as soon as possible. That's all for this short video. If you have any questions or comments about the platform, then please get in touch. Thanks and see you again soon.